It's the 5th of June. This is your crypto news. We're going over Bitcoin. We're going over the US economy, what's happening with money printing, our bags, and quite a bit more other stuff. CUDIS, Dupe, Meteora, calendar, a few other things, and some TA as well. So worth watching to the end, but we're going to keep it nice and fast for you as well. Starting off with Elon Musk, and he's retweeting this, and he's spoken quite a bit of this. You can see on his Twitter. Money Doge has saved the government, which, by the way, Elon Musk resigned from Department of Government Efficiency and Trump's big, beautiful bill. There are a lot of people saying this quite some time ago that it doesn't really matter what you save, 100 million or whatever. And it is a good idea to take people that are dead off Social Security, of course. And, you know, governments do need to be efficient in order to be competitive. But money printing was going to always win. And we just had a little bit of a blimp in the road. And now Trump is back to previous administration, which is very, very good for our bags. It's exceptionally good for our bags, but it's not good for the US in general. But well, we're in crypto, and we just have to go with whatever we're thrown at. And you can see this everywhere. It's just always just talking about they're going to bankrupt the government and whatnot. And it is bad, but we can't really do anything about it. So Trump says Fed's Powell must lower interest rate on Truth Social post. So there's a huge push for just and it kind of needs to be done as well. You want to stimulate jobs. You want cheap credit. Just debt has to happen. It will mean inflation is going to be the case as well. Also, this is crazy because Trump's agreeing with longtime rival Elizabeth Warren on need to abolish the cap on U.S. debt. In other words, they want their assets to go up, and they also want to simulate the economy, I guess you could say. M2 money supply has reached new all-time high of 22 trillion. This is super important because in a video we just did on Bitcoin, like what's going on with it, we went over Ben Cohen, Jason Bazzino, Michael Bazzino, and Roll Paul, and the broader audience of like their different thesis points. And I'll touch on it a little bit later. I just don't want to lose a train of thought here. The TLDR is M2 money supply. That goes up, Bitcoin goes up. That's from Roll Paul and Real Vision, and I think it works a treat. This is also really, really relevant because this is on-chain data, and this is suggesting that from Glassnode, you can see this trend when there's selling, the accumulation is low, I guess, and now we start to go blue. So January until now, from the bigger holders, even smaller holders of Bitcoin, they weren't accumulating. Now it's starting to go up again. And this is also massive news. JP Morgan saying that you can use ETH as collateral for loans and Bitcoin. We've always, not we on this channel, but you know, Solana maxis or Solana people have always kind of been mean to ETH in recent because we've been outperforming. ETH is probably going to start to have its day, to be perfectly honest. Even though it's not as good to like use as a blockchain, it just will probably have its day. This is from Ben Cohen, and this is very important. So basically, this is the number of jobs. I had to ask Grok to get a little bit more familiarity. But 37,000 jobs added in May, far below the 111,000 expected, signaling a sharp slowdown in US private sector hiring compared to the prior month of 62,000. This is very, very bearish for the US economy. Having a look here, all this bearishness is potentially resulting in some major downturns. Oh, Farcoin, what has happened? This is being destroyed by the pump news. This is nasty. Important thing to keep in mind, this is a bit of a tangent. Whenever you're liking a play or whatever, you just have to keep in mind there has to be some sort of stop loss or something. Like even hype is down a little bit. Fear and greed is not too bad. It's at 57. And having a quick look at the calendar, we're on the 5th. So we've got CUDIS, Airdrop, Solana Summit Vietnam is happening now. And Claimsaws reveal is happening later. And there's also the vote for Dupe. Our humble phone salesman is ready to ship out Seekers starting on August 4. That's only a couple of months away. So put in your shipping details. If at all possible, if you have a PO box or something, use a PO box just because it's always better security in the crypto world to do something like that. And this is for Infinex peeps. Anyone that holds Kaito, maybe you want to consider staking it. I have some somewhere. I need to go and find it and stake it because you're going to be dropped a massive amount of micro patrons to Kaito stakers. Also, if you're in the YT stake Kaito, I guess LP. I don't even know what YT is, so whatever. And if you hold the Genesis NFT, a Yaribaba NFT, go and connect this wallet. I'm not sure exactly what we do with it. I guess you have to connect it to Kaito, and then Twitter has to be connected to your Infinex. Something along those lines. But do it. Infinex is going to be big. Very, very bullish on it. Please, don't fade this. Let's bonk.fun. You asked, we listened. Creators can now earn a decent amount per 10 million volume, which may start to pull some stuff back from pump.fun because they've been winning and also crashing everything else. CUDIS, if you have one of these rings, I got one at Solana Accelerate. I hope I've done everything right. I'll see if I got a token to claim. Health is wealth. Let's dive in. These are tokenomics. Circulation TG is pretty high. They've partnered with like Binance and whatnot. There's all sorts of stuff going on there. This is the CA. They're also on BNB chain, and they did something with Binance directly. The market cap, I don't know who was buying at this crazy valuation or why. And it's annoying when this happens, but it's funny, I guess. It's now, it was at like 50 something million, and it's just popped up. This is the annoying thing. You have to like zoom in on the chart like crazy. We're just looking at 1 minute. Well, it was at 50 million, and now it's starting to pick up. But this is also on, CUDIS is on BNB. If you're over there, have a look there. I guess it's this one. And maybe a bit of an arbitrage if you can bridge between them, I'm unsure. Or buy on Binance chain. Maybe you can buy on Binance, maybe, and then send it to Sol and then sell it. I'm unsure. Just letting you know there's an airdrop out. Remember, there's a vote on. Vote however you want. Just make sure you vote. And remember, dupesync.link, just so you can keep up to date with everything happening there. Now, I just want to quickly illustrate this. If you didn't watch already the video where I went over Bitcoin and different cycle ending dates potentially, go and watch that because it's very, very relevant, and it had a lot of research that helps. This is something from Tony into the Cryptoverse like Telegram and their premium stuff. So just sharing that. Shout out to Tony. And he has a different thesis, and it goes over the fact that gold and BTC will go down in value. Gold will versus BTC. And from now, if you probably can't see this, but this is looking at March to May next year as a cycle top, which I'm far more inclined with something like March, February, March, as opposed to everything just ending October, like Jason Pizzino is thinking. Let's have a quick touch on James Wynn, the man that's getting a whole lot of attention on Twitter and has lost a whole lot of money. It's crazy. So he's posting stuff like, low-key just want to be liquidated so I can get my life back. Hurry up already. And he just keeps on being liquidated. I don't know how, like, he's degenerate and he's done very, very well. I'm unsure if he's hedging or what's going on. It's kind of crazy, because let's actually go over some of the technical analysis and the fact that why would you do 40x leverage? So the Ranger Finance team talk about this, and it's very, very, very useful. This is coinglass.com, and this speaks about clusters that will be targeted for liquidation by market makers. I have this thesis, and some people disagree in the comments. You're welcome to agree or disagree, but market makers move markets. They're whales. They can manipulate prices. Of course they can, and they will. They'll hunt for liquidation levels so that they can make decent profit on you, and that's just the way it is. You got to be careful out there. This is fairly even on Binance. You can see the amount of people that are shorting compared to the number of people that are longing are kind of equal. I would say at this stage, slightly heavier here, but this certainly looks like far more of a ranging day or week or whatnot at present. If you look at Bybit, it's also quite equal, but there's more people that I think could be liquidated by the price coming down, and then they move it up. Now, Hyperliquid, it doesn't have the same depth, and it seems more people were far more long over there, which means it is easier to destroy them here because they don't have as much traction as Bybit and things like that. And yeah, easily you can see you could target on Hyperliquid, you could push it down fast, and this is like, to go from here to here is less than 1%. It's not a massive amount. Yes, 1% is massive, but with the big money, this is possible. They could push it down, liquidate these people, and then off it goes. Now let's have a look at Sol. I think this is a bit of a ranging day. We'll go over that. We'll go over potential Meteora strategy in a second. But have a look at how much of a cluster this is on Binance. Pushing the price down to like 149, I don't know what this would be, 149.50 or something. That looks like the cluster that you'd want to take out as opposed to letting the price go up, even though Sol's already fallen quite a bit and we're at support right now. Bybit, it's the same. It's this massive cluster. There's people just holding the wall on this. They're holding this range, this support range. But push the price down, wipe them out, let it go up is potentially what's more likely to happen. And Hyperliquid, it's fairly equal. And this is, we'd have to kind of zoom in and it doesn't show us the same level. You could see, well, for whatever reason, this is like 159. You could easily see here actually that the price has to move up $7 before people start to get liquidated if they're shorting, or it just needs to move down $3 for the shorts to be taken out. Now, if you go to Range of Finance, which I do dig, you should use it if you're playing on-chain, so you can either go Flash, Dupe, or Drift and get the best prices. And potentially they're going to have a token airdrop in the future as well, so it's a good idea. This, you can clearly see the liquidations all done here. However, people that are using it on-chain, they are Sol maxis, typically, so they're more likely to be longing. Just keep in mind you have to look at the other exchanges as well. Now, in general, so I was doing this with my team just yesterday. I've spoken about this so many times, and if you actually just use this from the first time I did like an interview with Katoshi on Jupiter's channel or a tutorial, like the profitability on this is insane. This is where I want to speak about regarding James Wynn, and I want to keep it short, so apologies, but I'll go fast as I can. Basically, the settings are clear. It goes green, you long. It goes red, you can short. Sometimes, and then you have to check a few other different things. Watch the video, it's worthwhile. But it works like really well. It doesn't work all the time. It's got like a 75, 85% success rate. Sometimes, as an example, it's flat, like here. You'd set a stop loss, and the price moves down, and you would have dropped. Now we've gone red, but we are at this line. This is a line of support. So we are at a line. We've gone slightly red, which would indicate a short, and we're starting to move a little bit more because it's on the 2-hour chart. So we need it to go a little bit further, but we are at support. So it's a little bit kind of scary. You could enter if you wanted to, but you want to make sure that if you're entering, you're going to do so and just being mindful of other time frames. And one other time frame that is very, very relevant is Bitcoin. So let me just quickly change this chart to BTC, and that would ideally be red for the altcoins to be red in an ideal world. And on the 2-hour chart, it's still green. It's losing its steam, and it hasn't been profitable, but it's still green. And then if you go to the day, which is what you want to kind of check and zoom out on, it's still green as well. So is it like a perfect time to short with the swing trade on Sol? Maybe not. Another thing I want to point out is if you are going to be using Meteora, you can use Hawkeye as well, which uses Meteora. This is the daily range that we're playing with at present. So buying some, and we sometimes you're going to be a little bit underwater if you're in a range and the price keeps on going down. You can't win every single trade. Nothing is financial advice. You have to do what you want to do. We can do another tutorial on Hawkeye, but it's pretty simple, and I will do that over the next coming couple of days. So we're using this ADR to see like the average daily range for the last 20 bars, so the last 20 days, but 4-hour chart normally. And so we're factoring around about 5.7 or 5% up, 5% down as our range for Sol. Now, it may not dip down there and it may not go all the way up here, but that's kind of our daily range of where we could get some sort of fees with some Sol and some USDC. That's what we're looking at. It's not very exciting. We're in this sideways period, probably until June 18. There's a lot of pressure, as we know, to start money printing and to bring down the interest rate. That is the goal that Trump wants to do in order to stimulate the economy and make our bags worthwhile. Hopefully. Not even hopefully, definitely. The other thing is I love Meteora. It's fantastic. But right now, Meteora's doing great. But it's hard. It's very hard on the meme coin front. Like, you can join the LP army. Everyone should join, and they should be part of the LP army Discord. But some bigger people are having a hard time, and every now and then you'll get something posted like this. And we've been trying to replicate it. We really have been to go into the damn V2. The issue is you can go into like 50 pools and you'll get a winner like this. It is far harder right now. So you can see it's just not as euphoric to keep in mind. The other thing is when you are, remember, like when you're looking at these things and you see you want to go for like high volume on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and you see something like this, it looked good initially, right? You're like, what? It's just going up. I mean, it's a complete, if you know charts, you know this is a scam chart. And what you have to do is, just as a reminder, just to show there's no real opportunities, all this means a bundler. So these are all bundled. They're all a massive profits. They're pushing up the price, and they're just going to go and tank. So you can have a look at Kill Big Beautiful Bill, and you will notice that this will absolutely get slammed. And the thing is, it's a risk because this is on the 1 minute chart, and you don't know if you entered in the morning and got lucky at 1 million, how long they're going to pump it up before they started to take profits, because they're getting more and more holders over 15,000 now. So that's everything. I hope that was useful to you. We are TLDR in a sideways market, probably until 18th of June or something like that. But at the same time, dips are for buying, not financial advice, but you can keep that in mind. And I do think things are going to be pretty damn exciting. If you haven't done so already, remember to watch out what's happening with Bitcoin, that video that I released yesterday. And if you've got some Popkins that you've minted, the reveal will be later today, and your USDC would be already refunded, so you already know how lucky you were or how unlucky you were in getting them. That's all. Thank you. Catch you in the next video.